Are you ready to create a life you crave? Let's spin that doom loop of negativity into an upward success cycle and start living lucky.
Good morning.
I'm Jana.
I'm Jason.
And we are living lucky.
You are too.
We're talking about my favorite topic, dreams.
Dream.
I was thinking more the Cranberry song.
Okay.
Dreams all my life, chasing every day
in every
possible way. Yeah, you know it.
Took me a minute, but I got there.
Dreams, unearthing the dream that lives deep within our soul. We all have them, and we all are born by saying them out loud, saying,
Yes.
I want to be a
Fireman. I want to be an astronaut. I want to be a linguist.
I'm going to be a television talk show host. We say it out loud, and then we start gauging other people's reactions. And because we are all part of the animal kingdom, we want to fit in.
Be accepted.
And so we start developing these almost guilt, shame, doubt,
Worthiness.
I mean, there's so many emotions that start to develop around our dream.
And
we create almost this, it's a golden prison cell is what it is.
A barrier system.
We do. We create this shell of all these emotions around our dream. And the more intense those emotions are, the harder it is to break through.
And sometimes we start telling ourselves a story based on some of our experiences and evidence of not the persistence or the resilience or the achievements, but of the things that happen to us, not the things that happen for us.
Everything is happening for us.
I remember when we were driving our camper around the U.S. and asking people what their dreams of, and the first person that we met, Ty, that said, I don't have a dream. I don't even have hope. I don't know how to put one foot in front of the other in the morning.
He was in survival mode.
Yeah. And it hit me to my core because I was like, that's a desperate place to be. But then when we leaned into curiosity and I said, just what's one thing?
It's hard to dream when you are in that state because you are so surrounded by fear.
Yeah.
So even if you do start dreaming when you're in survival mode, it sometimes feels like your dreams have a different energy to them.
Yeah. And you're just trying to exist.
Mm-hmm.
And there's times when I think a lot of us feel that way when we're kind of on that hamster wheel and we're giving it all we've got and we don't feel like we're getting anywhere.
Yes.
Because we're not looking for the evidence of, hey, we're not chasing our purpose and we're not living in our dream. We're not living in our true, we're not aligned. That's a big thing. So we literally just talked to Ty for 10, 15 minutes and got him thinking about what is that one thing that really would make you feel like you're progressing in life, like make you feel like you're moving forward. And he got to some place and his whole demeanor changed. And he walked out of that parking lot with some swagger and a new energy and a smile on his face.
He changed his energy.
And it was incredible. And then
that literally comes down to, where are you focused? Are you focused on everything that's going wrong, or are you focused on what possibly could go right?
the focus on the possibilities. And what can I do? Like, what is that next best step forward that leads me towards something that's possible?
So good. Okay, so today we're going to give you some actionable steps on how to not only find the seed of your dream, but how to help water it, nourish it, and watch it grow.
Yeah, and pull the weeds around it. Right? Like, what's the format and the formula for just unearthing this dream and then helping it grow?
Okay, so let's start with step number 1, unearthing the dream. So many times people are like, I don't even know what my dream is anymore. I've literally forgotten who I am, what I like, where I want to go. I don't know. I don't know.
So the unknowing, what the first clue to the unknowing is just leaning into curiosity.
Yes.
So you can.
What is fun? In fact, when I was going through this stage, you know what I started doing? I started giving myself time to just Google. Now, I know that sounds crazy, but just being on the internet and I just started following my curiosity. Like, what do I want to learn about? What do I want to know? Or just give yourself time to go on YouTube and type in how to, and then YouTube will bring up videos. And you may find yourself in an area that you think, why am I this? Like, I started designing dolls. I started designing dolls, and I would watch all these videos on how to carve dolls and how to dress dolls. And what I realize now is I literally was playing dress up with myself. Right?
Yeah.
Because I would create these dolls, and then I would dress them in these wild outfits and fun hair, and I would put like little accessories all over them.
Basically styling your life.
I was literally designing Jana and who I wanted to be.
So oftentimes we focus on the not knowing. So we keep telling ourselves, I don't know. And we laser in on that dot of the I don't know instead of leaning into the curiosity of what can I find out?
Yes. So step number 1 is curiosity and just brainstorming. What are the things that I like to do?
What gives me joy? What increases my energy?
And when I have nothing else to do, what do I find myself doing?
Yeah, what do I lean into? When
I give myself time to just do nothing, what do I think about?
What would I like to be doing? Even if I don't have the energy for it right now, what does my brain go to fascination for?
And then after you kind of start becoming aware, which Jason and we use this in every podcast.
Awareness.
What's step number 1? Awareness. Once you start becoming aware, I'd kind of like to take a class in carrot
carving.
I don't know why that just came to mind. Or I might want to start learning about gardening or nutrition or art or whatever it is for you. Yeah. Whatever it is for you, then follow that curiosity.
Dance. We did dance.
Follow the curiosity. Now, step number 2. So step number 1 is unearthing the dream, and that is following the curiosity.
Yeah, you gotta figure out something to chase or follow.
Step number 2 is designing the dream. So once we start realizing, okay, my subconscious mind wants to pay attention to this over here. This is starting to
So now I've kind of got
something.
I've got a little canvas of what this might look like.
Yes.
So now we start kind of lasering in on that.
So let's start sharpening the focus. That's what we need to do, right?
I like that, yeah.
Sharpening the focus. And the way I did this was I actually brought out 2 big boards for Jason and we started going through magazines. And I said, let's create a vision board.
Now, when Jana says 2 big boards, they were like 5 foot by almost 6 feet wide. They were plyboard, and we literally laid them out on the floor, and we went through these big, beautiful magazines and cut out these images of the things that we wanted in our lives.
Now, we weren't even clear with what it was, where our curiosity was taking us. I mean, we had maybe like 10 different directions our curiosity was taking us at this point. But then we bring out the vision boards, and we started cutting out magazine pages, articles,
words.
We didn't question it. It was just whatever we wanted on our board.
Enthusiasm, energy, outrageous.
I had dancing.
There were words.
I had learning to work in a new way. Do you remember that?
Yes.
I had, everything on
style.
I had a picture of an arm, a cut arm with like all these muscles. And, Jason had Forbes magazine covers on his, and you had Camino and Boat.
And we've been on covers of magazines. I've done the Camino, like all these things that we had on our vision board.
But we weren't clear. We weren't clear at that point. We were just seriously following our subconscious mind.
We were bringing things into focus.
We were. because we were so lost at that point. We were so lost. So we started designing the vision board, not the division, the vision board. And then when you get to that next step of developing the dream, you start breaking it down even further. Okay, let's get even more clear with what this board actually says. Right?
Yeah.
And when you do that, for us, we needed to start developing the belief muscle.
Yeah.
Can this actually happen? Is this a possibility for me? And I know we often say, believe it, and then you will see it. Well, there is doubt that naturally occurs, and that's healthy to an extent because it is protecting you from completely putting yourself out there or from going bankrupt or
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Because you don't want to just push all in immediately.
You need to start developing the belief muscle. And so what's so crazy for us is I started getting these downloads saying, work on your editing skills. I mean, they were just small little skills. Work on building a website. Work on taking more classes about life coaching and learn about psychology.
And one of the things for me was that once I had the vision, that clear, the more refined focus on what we wanted, my reticular activating system started picking up on the road signs of, yes, you're heading in the right direction. These are the things that you're looking for, and they're here and available.
Yes.
And you're on your way, and it's almost like you're in a video game and you're gathering the evidence for your belief system of saying, yes, this is it. This is where you're going. This is what's possible.
And if you can see Jason as he's talking, he's doing this circular motion with his arm.
I'm bringing it towards me.
It's not only brings it towards him, but it's showing how the momentum starts to create. Momentum starts to happen, and you start seeing evidence that this can really be a possibility for me, and it builds confidence within your soul.
Which is like fuel. Confidence is fuel for that creationism.
Now, it is important to celebrate every single win along the way because there's going to be times where it's not necessarily, it doesn't feel like a win. And if you concentrate on those, I don't want to call them failures because everything is feedback.
Right.
Everything is feedback. But if you get stuck in those moments, which Jason and I have done many, many times, it will hold you back.
Yeah, if you're concentrating on the final product, like the private chef or the yacht, whatever it is that is your, like one of those things at the end that's on the vision board, but you don't concentrate on the process of how it's created. It's almost like if you're concentrating on the finished sweater,
yes,
you never appreciate every needle point or thread that goes into it. Yes. And you can't get there without every single thread of the needle.
Now, the last step is to develop a community of people who are cheering for you, rooting for you, supporting you along the way. That is the last step. So here's really what I want to say. That is the general outline of how to start realizing your dream. Here's what we found is that you do those 4 steps, and then it's time to even narrow it further.
Yes.
And you do those 4 steps again.
It's a
and
reciprocation
then you narrow it
program.
Even further. And you do those 4 steps again until you get laser focused on your destiny.
Oh, preach.
You can feel it. And it's God's way of preparing you along the way.
Yeah, we talk about this all the time. It's your spiritual curriculum.
It is.
And you're getting pulled to it. Momentum is also pushing and pulling you towards it. It's a beautiful process once you get that alignment.
And once you understand it. I think part of the frustration that I have felt in this process is I didn't understand how it worked. And now that I can zoom out and say, yes, these are the stages that you will go through. This is how you start bringing your dream all the way from the bottom of your soul. This is how you start growing it,
allowing it
birthing
to blossom.
it.
Yes.
You're birthing it. You're birthing your dream.
And not everyone is going to be going with you through the whole journey. And that's one of the hard things for me is sometimes I want everyone to experience this with me. And community is an evolving thing.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's not everyone in the community. You're going to gain people and lose people along the way because everyone is in their own journey. And it's beautiful. Community is a growing aspect of the whole process. Every little process of this you talked about earlier, just a moment ago, was that this is an evolutionary process. The whole dream growth process is evolutionary, and you're getting laser focused. You don't end alone, and you don't go it alone ever, but it's ever changing throughout.
I love it. I hope this helps someone. And when you can kind of stop and realize the 4 steps that you're going through. So again, chase your curiosity. That's step 1. That's how you unearth the dream. That's how you find out what your soul is really wanting. Step 2, you start envisioning it. You start designing it by actually putting it on paper. Write it down. Start putting pictures up around you so that you know, okay, this is where I'm going. And it's almost telling your subconscious, yeah, just follow these pictures.
Yeah, get really focused in on it.
Step 3 is actually developing the belief muscle.
Yes.
And it is finding every little step along the way is part of the journey. So celebrate your wins. Celebrate your wins.
Very good. Yes.
Therefore, you can build the confidence to even dream bigger. And then step number 4 is providing the community, finding your people. That is just key. I love it.
I love it.
And then once you go through those 4 steps, then you start to narrow in on your dream. You become laser focused.
And you will be living lucky.
And you keep going through those steps again. You just keep going through those steps again. And next thing you know, you'll be speaking on Mind Valley stages, and
That's
you'll have a
right.
TV show, and you'll have the love of your life beside you dancing in a competition.
I love it.
Thanks for joining us. We love you.
See you next time. Keep living lucky.
If the idea of living lucky appeals to you, visit us at startlivinglucky.com.